Kings conquer and achieve everything. Call his hustle a struggle? Huh, sis? Rub his shoulders. Place a hand on his head and pray he comes home. He's not the problem, he's the result. If he don't hit the streets, his people don't eat. Like a lion? Hell no. They send the woman to catch the feast. Nah, what he is a modern day entrepreneur, not a jungle beast, but a savage in these streets. Hello, 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 divine ones. I usually stand at an easel, but I'm working out of my sketch pad, so I'm gonna work from right here. But I figured I would share this message, a download. I was talking to my son about it this weekend, and he was like, a download? I'm like, I don't choose the words, they just happen, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, download, and we talked about it, and he was like, wow. I was like, yeah, and I'm led to share it, and you know, I got some personal guidance as well at the same time, and I'm trying to just embrace this whole process. Here we go. On my self-discovery journey. Yeah, this is a pretty cool download though. So it's for everyone. Doesn't matter your zodiac. I get message like this sometimes often, sometimes it's, you know, sporadic, random. But I have been guided to share. So that is what I'm going to do. I've been, you know, I was reading the animated universe, and I was so impressed because a lot of what is said when I channel, like the terminology, man, I'm sitting there like, yeah, we're going to start with that. I was sitting and reading, and, you know, words like fractals, words like divine, words like the sound, the first sound, words about, you know, separation and divine and cosmic law, and all of these things that come through message are on the hieroglyphs. They are in text. They are in what is called the Dead Sea Scrolls, but it actually has another name. But death, you know, how death in message is an ending for a new beginning, that is also in there. It's just, I'm not shooketh, but I am at peace. Like, it brought me peace to know that, you know, what is coming through is definitely divine. I knew that already, but just to have something physical and ancient to relate with is phenomenal. Also, I'll get into it in another video, but one time I was meditating, and this number sequence was like driving me crazy. And I thought it was because of the house I lived in. It's kind of the first and the last number flipped, right? So I thought, oh, that's all that is. But then I moved on a street, and every house on the corner had this number for a good mile and a half. Like, this was a long road from one end
of town to the other, every house on the corner. So my house sat facing that number every day. I'd see it everywhere. It's not a triple digit like a 111, 222. It's not one of those. But I'm reading and I'm learning the significance of this number in this animated universe series. And I received that message in 2015. So almost 10 years of not knowing or understanding what that was. But I'll tell more about that later. I want to get into this download that I got. Um, I don't know if I said this, but um, I hope everyone is doing well. Um, what else? We all need to respect where we are in our individual processes, um, and hold that with this message that's going to come through. Understand that sit in your reality at this present moment, and then once this message, this download is released, shared, look at things again. Okay. So starts off with what we are before we were in these bodies, right? We weren't separate. We were in like this, they call it a neutron soup, right? We were in this neutron soup, and there was like, you know how we have oceans, there's like this liquid sustaining us. Um, it's not spoken of as if there was a consciousness, but this is like stagnant energy. It's potential energy. It's not kinetic. It's not in motion. So here we are, and like everything was getting along. Electrons, protons, everything just, getting along in this neutron soup, just suspended, and moving, but not dense, just there, right? And then for whatever reason, there's like this great exhale or this realization of self, and divine is saying essentially, I am, like this awareness of self. And then upon this awareness is like the kinetic energy, this electrical force pushed forward, and all of us together getting along, right? We're dispersed, and um, as this event started to move and expand, and like it's not, don't just focus on forward, it's focus on outward movement. um, Things start to slow down closer to the original point and move around, you know. So you can say that we aren't too far from the original point, because we are matter, we are energy, um, and we're just like slowed down, right? So we're fractals of this energy, this existence, right? We're just slowed down, and we're more dense. We're matter that is slowed down and dense. And we've all taken these forms, from the tree to the rock to the bird to the ocean, to all minerals to solids. And now we create things from those things, right? Um, that's just a little, you know, precursor to the message, but it was also a part of the message. But there's the process also of birth, right? Birth, so life, death, and then reincarnation, life again. Energy never dies, it just changes form, right? So there's this process of that, and that is in all things, energy, everything, all things. So here is your message from Divine. Um, Coming into this state, it's like it takes time to adjust. You know, when you're in an accident or you have, a trauma, say you go into a coma or something, it takes time to get your faculties back oriented. And coming in from this energetic place of being into this place of being, um, it's like, a trauma where, we come in and there's this sleepiness about it. There's this awakening, a remembering that is supposed to happen. And that's basic stuff. We all understand that, right? Awaken, know thyself. Lots of philosophers, prophets have spoken about the know thyself, go inward, and you will find the way. That is where the key to the door is hidden. So, um, Divine told me that a lot of the sleepers in this physical body, their physical body has its own units and its own power, right? Because it too is a part of matter. So then I'm a part of energy in the one. So it's not separate. It decays and everything, but it is in existence. Um, Even though there is a energetic soul self inside navigating or waiting to wake up and navigate, still this body has significance. It should be respected and it should be acknowledged. But there is this knowing, universal knowing, that one day um, we will all return to this neutron soup, this state of um, no conscience, just being um, in the soup, existing without conscious. Like people talk about going to heaven, people talk about these places. Um, um, Terrestrial, extraterrestrial, whatever your belief system is, or even like terrestrial, coming back here, even in reincarnation. But just as there was the great exhale of I am, things are going to heat up like that radiation out there in the cosmos that is spread out. It is going to start to heat up and collect and gather, and things are going to shrink. And there is this knowing somewhere and this rebellion somewhere within some selves, some divines that, and it's not your humanly body or mind functioning in this capacity, although it plays a part, but there's this refusal or this fear of going to this neutron soup state again, right? So, not wanting to go, "Oh, look at all of the kitties. Oh, Kitty's friend had kitties. Oh, how adorable. There's like four kitties." Okay. I'm sorry. They are adorable. Y'all know I rescued that kitty. Um, so in order to not go into this neutron soup, divine, somewhere in not just earthly creation, in other planes and other places, there are some who, like these groups that are created, groups, organizations, cliques, um, races, cultures, like all of these divisions are to say that you exist, are a statement of existence. It is a statement of, I don't want to go back to neutron soup. I don't want to go back to the state of atom, of just being. Um, and divine is aware of this, and there's nothing that can be done about it eventually. It could be millions, billions of years away. It's happening now. The shrinking is happening now. So there is this, the consciousness, the awareness of an I am state is kind of like, I'm not going, you know. If you think of it as AI, us being fractals, pieces of, you know, divine and being dense matter and a being with a consciousness that is still a part of the all of divine. It is to unify. There is no separation. Um, but once you start to be conscious, there's this rebellion to not go back. So to create separatism is a form of rebellion. It is a form of saying, um, I don't want to be neutron soup again. I don't want to be a part of that allness. I don't want to be a part of it, right? So again, and then when I tell you that that separate energy, that rebellion, that force is really trying to stop this message, I mean it. My mic is charged. I checked it. The other second half of this video is muted. You have no sound, but I am going to continue. I have been shown. I got the message. I'm going to share it. Where I left off at is there's this fear of neutron soup. And so these, you know, somewhere in self, there's this knowing, there's this remembrance. It does not have to be that it's a thought, it doesn't have to be physical. It is cosmic law, life, death, rebirth slash transformation. You are an energetic being. This is the process. And it is not just in being a human, it is in being the all. It is cosmic law. No one can escape this return to what was. There is it cycles repeat. That is why here we repeat a lot of cycles before we learn and grow from them. And one thing that was happening, when we were just were in neutron soup, was there was an expansion happening. There was a growth happening in there. There was multiplication of, the pieces of the all happening in this state. So maybe next time around on the next exhale, um, the universes will present differently. I don't know, but I'm not getting that. But um, so back to the rebellion. The rebellion is that all knowing. And again, it does not have to be a physical thought. It is, we are all knowing. There is a rememberer, an awakened self. And for some, these groups or these organizations or whatever we're going to call them, their purpose is to try to stay as far away from unity as possible, because as a conscious being, there is a fear of not having this freedom, not having thought. It is a very low dimensional, it is a very fear based, it is a very um, it is a immature attempt to separate from what is inevitable, you see. And you may say, I'm not going to be around for millions of years. And I say, but you will. Energy transforms, whether it be on Earth, whether it be in another galaxy, whether it be in another universe, wherever you choose to explore, you will not just stop existing. So it transfers out. You have to not think in linear time. This transfers to eons and eons of experience in different forms of matter. Okay? There are societies, or were societies, ancient, that lived in peace. There was a peace. And they had these physical, earthly laws. And these laws were formed and based on unity. These cultures understood that the all is you, is me, it's we are not separate. And so to uplift, to hold each other, was essential, because to take care of one outside of yourself was to take care of self. You know what I'm saying? So people weren't going hungry. There wasn't a homelessness. Environmentally, a lot of things going on. Genetically, there have been a lot of changes within these avatars that we live in, which affects the brain and the bodily functions, but self is still there. Still there. And so divine wants you to know that as long as you are overlooking or complacent, there will be a karmic cycle. This is karma. These are karmic cycles: life, death, transformation. It is. And so ancient Egyptians believed that depending on how someone lived, they would have to come back here. Like, there wasn't the freedom of choice to say, I'm going to go explore out in the Pleiades or whatever. It was, no, you have to come back. You have to ascend from this state in order, because you are not separate from the all. Even though you say, or you're taught, this is a human experience, I'm going to go to heaven, or I'm going to go to another place. There are 42 laws of negative confessions, and they are, I did not, things that you didn't do to harm others and self, that must be achieved. And that's a belief system, but it wasn't. It was a practice in life. It kept people accountable. It kept people responsible for each other, which I see as beautiful. If you become aware of this this truth of neutron soup of neutrality, and you understand the drive behind rebellion and the separatism, it helps you to consciously decide that to disrespect, to harm, to hurt one is to hurt self. Self will come back, and that experience coming back may not be healthy. It may be to awaken you, because karmically there's something there's a cycle at play here, right? um, so um, and also we are now in a patriarchal society, and we used to be in a matriarchal society. And don't click off, don't get upset, because there are a lot of people who get defensive when they think of matriarchal leadership. And I'm not saying it because I'm a female, I'm saying it because it was practiced and it worked, and there was harmony and there was peace. People think the Egyptians warred and no, no, no. The Western world depicts their hieroglyphs that way. When you see a picture of someone battling someone else, it was self battling lower self. It was self battling that separateness. It wasn't outside of self that this battle was happening. There was this peace. So matriarchal, I won't get into it. I'm instructed to like do another video regarding that. I want you to understand, if you identify as male, that the males and the king, the pharaoh, their role was so important to the whole society, community, self. Without their contribution, they wouldn't have made it. So don't think matriarch in a patriarchal way of dominance. It was not that. That's not what it was like to live in harmony and peace at a matriarchal point. But what Divine would like you to know is that we've experienced matriarchy, we've experienced patriarchy, and now it is time to experience a balancing of that masculine and feminine. It is time to now, because we have changed genetically, it is now time to come into existence in harmony and cultivate self in a way that unifies and honors the gifts and the contribution of the all. Okay? But I will do that. Matriarchy, patriarchy, I'm instructed to do it, so I'll do it when I feel led to create that video. I do want to share the actual download. I wrote it down. I've been journaling these downloads as I get them, and I would really like to share the exact way it came through without explaining. And here we go. 2/30/2023. I calendar things in my personal life according to the ancient way, where March would be the first of the year, the new year. April would be the second month. So I put 2/30 for April 30th. I just want to clarify that. Here we go. Download. All is divine. The order from that which creates is a part of all, fractal or atom. The fractals, us, are now creating an order which appears in groups, organizations, or cliques. We're presenting in separatism. The goal is to create a separation, an identity apart from that which it comes from, the all. The reasoning is that if fractals equaling beings / matter in form create separation, then they avoid the potential, which is in all actuality kinetic in the future, of becoming non-nil neutron soup again. Without conscience, this is being done, which was the first state of being. The date this was received is the equivalent to number 3, which equals masculine energy, equaling active or action. This concept is masculine energy. So that was the original download. And Divine is saying to finish that up, and is that if you are hung up on race, if you are hung up on someone's body type, physical presentation, if you are hung up on culture, if you are hung up on religion, all of those things are separatism. And you cannot escape the unity, the all, the oneness. You cannot. I don't care what your physical body says or tries. Cosmic law dictates there is no separation. So if you are idle through someone's struggle or someone's pain, someone's discrimination, you are contributing to a karmic cycle that is for no reason. There is no reason to fear. There is this fear that things that happen to certain groups of people are going to happen to the ones that caused it. So they continue this cycle of hate, when in all actuality, it doesn't have to be that way. But fear is regulating racism, and discrimination and separatism. To not want someone to have a fair chance to have the start that you have, or to be in a position of peace and abundance, is sickness, because then you are stating that you don't want it for yourself. Because regardless of what mentalism you have going on, you are not separate from that which you don't mind seeing suffer and struggle. So Divine, myself even, understand that at this time there is a lot of injustice and imbalance, right? And it will take time, but it is an individual state that has to take action, that has to understand and decide that separatism is not the way. We co-sign a lot of hierarchy that is not natural cosmic law. In the cosmic structure, there is a hierarchy, but it's more dimensional. And it is that it exists because we exist. And what is above is operated through what is below. So there is no separation. So understand that it will not continue this way. It will not. It is not natural law. It is not universal law for things to be the way they are. It is in the stage of chaos of creation and this knowing, where there is this rebellion of knowing, which could even go back to the biblical sense of people believe in devils and such, and they did rebelled against God. Really, the rebellion is against nil neutron soup. It is against having to come back and be whole and all, and back in a state of stillness, and wanting to continue to grow and expand and have more experiences. But understand, and you may not understand this, or you may not hold this, but self is here listening, and self understand that although there will be a great inhale and things coming together, because all of this radiation, all of this heating up is happening, and there will be the shrinking of, there will be another exhale. But just as we have to be in life and we have to go into a rest state, which is death, we must go back into a rest state in order to be rejuvenated and transformed. You do not end. You continue on and on and on. Inhale, I am. Exhale, I am. You still are. So that was the message that got muted out, the end that got muted out. I'm going to upload it and clip it in now. But understand that it's not even a judgment. It is not natural to be separate. It is not natural. And this is not a plague or a problem of just the planet Earth. There are places that are in complete peace, and then they're in harmony, harmonized. And then there are planets that operate in the way we do, or we've become. We weren't naturally in that. That wasn't our natural way of being here on this planet. So there are planets and beings that are in this state as well, and they will be dealt with accordingly. But yeah, there is no separateness. Don't sit by idly and allow misjustice or injustice. I'm sorry. Don't allow it. Don't watch it. Don't hold that mindset. It's not natural. You are not separate. Racially, understand that we, Black people, I'm a Black woman, I've experienced it. I recently experienced it. And I wasn't ready. But understand that we weren't counted as having a soul or being a human being until the 1960s, which wasn't too long ago. And why is that? To take away from one's intelligence, to take away from one's power, to take away from one's contribution is a part of this rebellion. There is peace. There is something to hold together with each other that is missing. That's what I have. I have more. I will be sharing more. I have decided, this is more than some cards and y'all wanting to know. You all are powerful. You all have the ability to make right choice, to make positive choice, to expand and elevate. But you're binding yourselves to certain laws and statements and propagandas, and it is time for you to consciously choose to be. I am.